The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Determination, skill, speed. These drivers will need all three to achieve victory, with only one goal: to be crowned the next Lionheart champion. 40 drivers and 28,000 horsepower racing to keep his memory alive. With so much on the line, they will push their cars to the limit. So buckle up. It's about to get wild.
Blows over and goes quite the ride on his lid. And they were side by side off of pit road. Time. Here comes Jake Ray with the red topside.
You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes, a curiosity. And that is what almost all the drivers of the Lionheart IndyCar Series are saying. With only 3 races remaining on the schedule, Jake Wright's dominance has turned everybody's Drivers' Championship dreams to dust in the wind. Floating high in a Kansas sky, looking down at Kansas Motor Speedway, which tonight plays host to the Lehman Landing 200, round 20 of 22 on the Lionheart IndyCar Series schedule. This broadcast is made possible thanks to the good folks at First Medical Equipment, and you can see all the action from Pace Lap to Victory Donuts live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. The producers have packed full this quarter-hour streaming award-worthy pre-race show with everything you need to appreciate the upcoming event, so bring cyberspace into your place. Get Grandma to whip up some of her meat, cabbage, and onion pastry pockets. Pour a foamy glass of Lost Trail root beer. Sit back and enjoy the 200 miles of simulated DW12 Dallara Oval Course excitement that will be streaming your way. From the Sunflower State, it's Soup and Crackers with you once again for another GSRC broadcast. I'm me, Bill Soups on. He's him, my partner, Sean Crackers Ambrose. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, the doctor of pit stopology himself, Amjad Yaman, with the camera locations created exclusively for GSRC by the much sought-after Dougie Beard. Sean, the drivers have put the road courses behind them. The season closes the book with a Triple Crown event, 300 miles at Auto Club Speedway. Before that, 200 miles at Atlanta. But right now, it's all about Kansas Speedway.
Yes, Soup, it is, and all we are is here at Kansas Speedway. Right here in Kansas City, Kansas. 1.5-mile tri-oval racetrack. They built it in 2001. They raced Indy cars here for a while into 2011, but tonight, the Lionheart IndyCar Series brought to you by First Medical Equipment returns to Kansas Speedway. 17 to 20 degree progressive banking. Let's take a ride around with GSRC's James Krahula in the GSRC DW12.
Hello, this is James Krahula in the GSRC Dallara DW12. I'm going to take you for a lap around the Kansas Speedway. Qualifying here at Kansas will be very straightforward. The goal will be to take the shortest way around the track, which will be the yellow line. With these cars having so much downforce and this track being so fast, you can hold that white line for the entire duration of the track to get the lowest time possible. Now, as we head into a run with other cars, we are going to definitely be experiencing pack racing. These cars are staying together a lot more than they have been in races past. So instead of a few laps of close side-by-side racing and then singling out, look for that to happen much, much later here at the Kansas Speedway. Now, the middle line will be the preferred line, though the bottom line will work. It is a lot easier to get bogged down on that bottom line, though. As the tires start to get worn out, tire degradation does play a big role, so while you might still be around other cars, you might see cars start venturing up into the higher lanes, maybe even that third groove as the run goes on, to try and keep their momentum up and keep it flat-footed through the turns. If you're able to keep your car out of trouble, put it in the right positions, and not get caught up in the big one, you might just find yourself in victory lane here at the Kansas Speedway.
A recorded lap around Kansas, driven and narrated by James Motley Krahula. But Sean, to get an idea of what the track conditions are right at this very minute, I think you're going to be able to talk to one of the drivers that's out on the track right now. Who do you got for us?
I do have Jason Robarge from AGR Motorsports, driver of the number 79 DW12. Jason, good evening, my friend. Welcome to the booth here for just a moment. What do you think about your chances tonight? And you certainly look to maybe get yourself a podium position in the points. How do you wrap this all up this season?
Hey guys, how you doing tonight? It's gonna be a crazy one. The push is super real here. It's insane. I think this race is gonna be a tough one. I'm hoping to start up front. I think that's gonna be the key. Avoid the carnage. I think it's gonna be something great to watch tonight.
Well, Jason, it's been quite a season. We're finally off the road courses and back to turning left. This is an awfully fast track. We haven't been to a track like this since the most recent build. What about tires? How big of an issue is that going to be tonight? Because I know a lot of you are going to probably go as deep as you can on fuel.
Oh yeah, definitely, Sean. The tires, they go fast here. It's going to be all about tires. I'm going to try to run out the fuel as much as I can, but tires is really going to be the issue because of that push is just so crazy. I think it pushes more here, I think, than any other track in the schedule, in my opinion.
Well, you certainly have some history here, and you've got a long race in front of us, but you do like your chances tonight as long as you can start up front?
I do. I'm trying to try and start in the top 5. We'll see what happens, but if you can stay up there, I think you can avoid the carnage. But like I said, it's going to be a great broadcast to watch.
Well, you've been in the top 10 of the previous races here. We wish you the best tonight. Go get it, my friend.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right, thanks, Jason. And real quickly, we're going to bring Trevor Bissett in. Trevor driving the Lehman's landing machine this evening. Trevor, I know it's been a long, tough week for you, and you wanted to come on and give a shout-out to your mom.
I did. I just want to say she's the strongest person I know, and I love her. So shout out to Mom, Mrs. Linda Bissett. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, and hey, thank you for sponsoring the race and making it to the show this evening. We'll be keeping an eye on you all evening, buddy, and we certainly wish the best to your mom. I know it's been a difficult week for her.
Definitely has been. I haven't got to practice at all this week with this setup, so it'll be interesting, but I can't take credit for this race. I got to thank Lehman's Landing out in St. Louis, Missouri for sponsoring this race for me and throwing a sponsor on my car as well.
Well, Trevor, go out there and give him quite a run. From what I hear, the push is real. Take it easy, my friend.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, buddy. All right, and that was Jason Robarge from AGR Motorsports and Trevor Bissett right there in the Lehman's Landing DW12. And that interview was brought to you by SimNation, the latest and greatest media, reviews, and content for all of your simulators, all in one place. SimNation. Feed your dreams.
And of course, the Lionheart series is considered the premier fixed setup league for the IndyCars on the iRacing service, and GSRC is proud to be able to broadcast each and every Season 4 event. And each of those events are tallied up to give us our points championship, with exception to the 3 that are left out for the drop races that the rules allow for. So if we can bring up the driver championship right now, we'll go ahead and talk about that. Now, keep in mind, you see up in front there, it's Jake Wright. He's got himself 8 wins this season. That's pretty impressive. He is well on his way to the championship. Only a alien attacking his home will probably stop him short of that. I think he's pretty much home free here. And he's going to join Jesse Vincent as the only two-time champion if he can bring it home in these final 3 races. Now, Jonathan, the real thing, Goke, remember, he's been deployed. He's actually only scored on 15 of the 16 possible races right now. Now, I know I said this is like round number 20, but there are 3 dropped races, so the drivers are being scored right now on their 16 best, except for Jonathan's only getting scored on 15. But that's still enough to keep him up in front by a few points ahead of Dave and Penny's baby boy there, Dan Guerin, running in 3rd. We talked to Jason Robarge running there in 4th. Jason still looking for his first win this season. And then, of course, the man who did your track guide there, video guide, James Kahula, running in 5th. Goes all the way down 1 through 16, looking for a big charger there. Everyone pretty much holding position, except for the Racing Kangaroo, that number 888 machine of Michael Gray, up 6 spots into 6th position. Let's go ahead now and bring up the team championships. There were no changes. The real thing of interest there is whether Adrenaline Motorsports is going to be able to run down AGR Motorsports. That interval is still pretty close for that final podium position. But before we leave this overlay, I'd like to point out that Blue Bayou, well, that's manned with Ronald Hacker, Kenneth McCoy, and Brandon Limkeman. Those guys managed to finish 2nd last week at Laguna Seca, so that was a nice job from them, currently sitting in 5th position. They look safely ahead of Dragonfly Racing, trying to get back into the top 5. So we've talked about the Drivers' Championships, we talked about the Team Championship. Now let's go to everybody's favorite championship, the, the Manufacturers' Championship. Yeah, and Sean, let's go ahead and why don't you take a look at that one?
Yes, sir. The manufacturer's standings presented to you by First Medical Equipment, Toyota. Still hanging on to first, and well, I don't know if they're going to get caught at this point. Chevrolet holding down 2nd, very strong. No changes throughout the what is now top 11. Battle there for 3rd. Not really one. Mazda's done a really good job this season. They've been solid. 4th place looks like it's been decided with Honda. The Blue Oval is trying to hold off Dodge. Now that's 100 points there, Sue. There may be a battle erupting there. Real battle going on between Yugo and Lexus there
it is.
7th and 8th. Yes, sir. Yugo with a really, really good chance to come home strong in 7th. They just need a few more good races. Subaru down there in 9th. Audi in 10th. Now we have an addition. Tesla is officially on the schedule. They are in the field and with their first race got 16 points. There they sit in 11th suit.
Like Tesla in there. They're not. They better not catch for my team. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to do. Sean, let's go ahead and do our race details.
Yes, sir. Let's do it real quick. This is season 4. 15 oval races, 7 road races already in the books. Round 20 tonight. 41 drivers on this roster. We've got a pretty full field this evening. Prize pool this season of over a little bit over $1,100 in cash, prizes, and lots of fun to come with that. Let's look at the details for tonight's event. They, of course, are running that DW12 with this fixed setup. I believe this is actually the iRacing fixed setup this evening, Sue. Expect about 3 stops on this 75% of fuel. Qualifying is going to be best of 2 laps. It's 133 laps here this evening. 200 miles tonight. No fast repairs. It'll be awful hard to keep the car clean tonight. No incident limit. Restarts are single file. It is a beautiful evening here on track. 78 degrees. And 78 degrees on track as well, the track temperature. So, Bill, we're in for a good one this evening.
200 miles. Let's see if we can go green. I don't know if we're going to be able to go all 200 miles on green, but these guys usually put on a pretty good show. All right, let's go ahead and run down the grid right now as qualifying is just about done. Well, man, he's good on the twisty courses. He's also good, apparently, on these that have 4 left turns. Sitting on the pole, Jake Wright. Right behind him, though, how about a nice finish today for Big Joe Hazard in the 2 spot? Sean?
They tied those spots, Soup. Jason Robarge doing what he wanted to do. Put her up front there, right next to him, James Scrolla.
Then it's Dan Guerin in the 6th spot, and rounding out row 3 is going to be Trevor Bissett.
All right, then we have Ian Adams starting 7th, Jason Galvin 8th.
Here's a new name, Michael Goodman, inside of Brandon Linkman in row 5.
Michael Goodman making his debut tonight. Then we've got, let's see, starting in 11th. That's going to be George Anzaldo and Bob Mikas running out row number 6.
Joe Branch and Dave Barber in the 7th row.
All right, and then we got Chris Gutierrez and Ron Hacker on row 8.
Tony Lookout Lurcock in the 17th position. Chris Stouffer outside of him.
Rounding out top 10 is going to be Dylan Lee and our friend, the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray.
Pierre Nightingale in the blackjack position with Brian Yosick sitting in the double deuce spot.
All right, Tony Showen, 23rd. Jack Bogan, 24th.
Connor Harrington in the quarter century mark inside of Kenneth the Real Thing McCoy.
All right, then we go to Eddie Tutwiler in 27th and Robert Bluen, 28th.
29th is Alfred E. Shepard running in that Yugo machine. He's got the Lexus car of Ed Tutwiler right ahead of him in 27th. And then Vincent Blumenthal in 30th.
All right, then we'll go back to 31st with Peter Edwins and Jared Turnbull starts 32nd.
Matthew Mercer in 33rd, and then another Turnbull. This time it's the Tyler variation in 34th.
Jesse Vincent, of course, in race control. And
what about in-car cameras today, Sean?
Yeah, let's do those in-car cameras here and run with those now. We'll go to the Big Joe show. Big Joe Hassert this evening in the Arctic Cat, number 44. There he is, the Big Joe show. The Big Joe show starting up front. We can start with him for this race. And we'll move on to our next one. Pierre Degla, there he is in the number 14, the first medical equipment on board camera. And then we'll go to Trevor Bissett in the Lehman's Landing DW12 on board camera. On board that car this evening. Beautiful looking car too. Great paint job.
Pace car coming around now, turn 4. We expect it to pull in this time unless they're doing one more, but I'm pretty sure they're coming in. There we go. So focus your attention now on Jake Wright inside of row 1. He'll be pacing the cars to the start-finish line. He's got the throttle down. Gather up the chickens. Take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And your points leader, Jake Wright, leads them into the first corner. Big Joe Hassard, Jason Robarge, James Krahula follow them, and then Dan Guerin in that beautiful red, white, and blue painted machine running in 5th.
Wow, lots of action throughout the field. Michael Gray already looking racy all the way back here in 20th.
Big, what a hornet's nest as they come across the first lap. Back there, it's really busy back a few spots back. Let's take a quick back at 10th position right now. Michael Goodwin. Bob Mikas in that little mix. George Anzaldo and Dave Barber. That's a battle for 10th, 11th, 12th.
Yeah, as I said, Michael Goodman making his debut tonight. The New York driver in the DHL DW12. Trying to hold off a vicious charge on the outside right now. Keeping it stuck down there on the bottom.
Everybody clean so far? How about a new leader? Let's go up front as Big Joe Hassard is going to lead him across to start lap number 4. He's going to get credited with leading lap number 3, but only for a minute. Let me apologize. Yeah, that was Hassard. Now Krahula has jumped into the spot, into the front spot.
Yeah, on board with the Big Joe show, looking back at Jake Wright just behind him. Running that high line of the track right now, and Joe dips to the inside a little bit and then gets back up on the high side of the track. Looking for a run up Krahula into 1.
Krahula keeping the car low. I think he's going to, he's going to try to make Hassard go on the high side. Now with a little bit of a run behind him is Jake Wright, but he's just feeling it out right now. Jason Robarge on the inside.
Dylan Lee having trouble on the backstretch, says he was in the wall.
Yep, it was all done. He was just ahead of the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray. And he actually put it up there on, kind of looked like an SK modified there a little bit, Sean.
Yeah, it looked like maybe.
Oh,
that
you know
car
what? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just to say it looked like the car had maybe started to push on him a little bit there, and did a good job of getting up in the wall and keeping it out of the traffic. Hats off to him.
What got me excited is watching the replay. I think Peter Edwins might have got a piece of him, but it might have been ghost contact because Edwins seems to be fine. So that's what got me excited. Guerin now in trouble. 3 wide through turn 2. He gets that sorted out. Look at this pinata full of bees we're looking at right there with Guerin in 4th. Jake right now in 5th. Dropping back to Bissett now in 7th position.
He's got a pretty good look at it right there. What's going on in front of him on board the Lehman's Landing onboard camera. Got to run on right there to the inside. Dan Guerin up top. I think we're definitely going to see some 3 wide racing tonight.
That's right on the inside. That's Guerin on the high side. No, it's not. Sorry. That's Ian Adams up there. It's right in Ian Adams running in 5th and 6th. Now we're back up to the front. Krahula, look at this run. Oh, a dive into this side by Big Joe. Passer takes it in. Going to get it done coming out of 4. Nope. And leading across the line, it was Big Joe Hassard. Just so you get to... Hassard is in that black, white, and red Arctic Cat machine. Just ahead of him, James Krahula now. Running in that kind of a lighter red, kind of an orange, black, and white, number 4.
Dan really getting a little squirrely there off the turn. Big Dan Guerin with a move to the inside, Sue.
Doesn't look like that team #nailed it car is going to have the momentum, though, as he dives it in there. Doesn't have this power off the corner exit. Running in 2nd, trying to make the low side work. Oh, he drifts up right in front. And wait a minute, we had just glancing off the wall also was Jason Galvin.
Yeah, Galvin got close. Got real close to Brandon Lipkeman and got up in the wall, dropping back several spots. Bob Mikas was right there in the mix in the Von Hansen's meat market DW12, and he had to get out of the way.
Honestly, there is fighting going on all the way through this pack of 33 cars. Only driver out of the race right now, pesky Dylan Lee.
George Gonzalo just got by Jason Galvin. He take 12th spot. Jason trying to keep it down on the inside. He's got Tony Lurcock right there next to him.
Nice battle for 14th. We can stay on this for a while. I will tell you that there is action up front, but it's nothing that we're not going to be able to see all night long. So let's give these guys back here a little bit of love. We're keeping an eye on the leaders. Sean, you like to use the word lap de jour, and that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah.
Who wants to be the leader on whatever lap we're on at the time we look at it?
That's right. Yes, sir. And right now it's anybody's race early on here, but what a great run to get started.
It's really 5 cars up here that have been jockeying around having fun. Right now it's Guerin and Krahula. Now Trevor Bissett's been in this mix as well. Big Joe Hassard and then Ian Adams has been playing up here as well. Then they're the guys that are back a little bit. Just kind of watch them. That's Jake Wright. Jake actually backed out of it a little bit. He's running in 6th. Robarge now just peeking on the inside of him. Robarge in that nice Marlboro color paint scheme today. That looks real pretty. Mike is on the high side in 8th, and then down low, Limpkeman. Sean, they kind of fly in staggered position. Now, I've never been in this car at this track, but it's almost like they'd like to get fresh air in front of them. It's almost like they like to inside, outside, inside, outside. We got a spin, and it's McCoy. McCoy got into it with Jack Bogan. Bogan's going to be able to save it. McCoy is not. Oh, wait a minute. McCoy comes up, though, and gets us Jarrett Turnbull. So the guy, we'll see McCoy get in trouble. Then if you can go ahead and go over to the car that we were mentioned. There you see that one. And then if you can watch the car of Jack Bogan, maybe on this replay, you can see that he almost has this thing saved. Jack in kind of the red and black target machine. He gets into it with the yellow machine. Now watch him. He goes down through the grass. Things are looking good. Actually, he never gets to the grass. Then he comes up and gets into one of the turnbuckles.
Wow, that really unfortunate there. I don't know if Jack just couldn't control the car or what, but honestly, it looked like he was pushing in a turn there. Going on board with Jared Turnbull here and see his view of it. I don't know if Jack was trying to get back on track or... Yeah, it's just unfortunate right there. It takes Turnbull out, and that's going to be heavy damage on that machine.
Boy, that was a tough one. As now everybody's coming in here.
Yep, here we go.
Looking to see.
Might as well.
Yeah, looking to see if anybody stayed out. I don't think. Bob Mikas looks like he was going to stay out. Bob likes to do this, pick up a lap lead, and then he'll come back in. Bob has no problem racing from the back.
It's a long race, Soup.
Yeah.
Get a little time up front there for the Von Hansens meet DW12, but a great race off of pit road. Looks like everybody had a pretty good pit stop there. They all came out at the same time, Soup.
Let's put the camera on the car currently running in 16th position. That's Jason Galvin in that KGET machine. And while we have that on screen, maybe if our director can bring up the last chance bracket, as I'm starting to direct and commentate at the same time. They never like when I do that. And while our director starts to pull that up, let's talk about it. KGET. That car is lucky enough to make it all the way through to the final standings. You see down there, he is the Cinderella driver. He is seated number 11th. When this started way back about 8 or 9 races ago, you can see that Galvin was seated in 11th position. He was able to upset Hacker, was able to upset Pesky Lee, then was able to get around Hassard, and now he finds himself in the final 2. Unfortunately, he's got to go up against Jake Wright. The good news for Galvin is at least Jake doesn't have any ovals. So the way this will work out for the championship is they'll have 2 races to do it. The best result of either this race now or the next one coming up in Atlanta, whoever has the best result, is going to be claimed our last chance champion, bracket champion.
And Soup, while we're talking about Jason Galvin, Galvin just lucky to be here this evening. He has had an adventurous day. It all started when it started at work, a long day at work, gets home, has no internet, finds out it's his modem, not good. Cable company can't get to him for a couple of days. He's going Wi-Fi off the neighbor's password there. So just lucky to be here again this evening. So,
were you actually supposed to say that? It's a secret.
Well, I didn't give the password.
Oh, okay.
Or his address. So
okay.
Kept it pretty anonymous, I think, anyway. But yeah, Galvin again told me before this race, if he's to win this thing, it's the biggest story ever. And I got to be honest with you, it's a pretty good fish story indeed.
Hope the neighbor keeps the windows open and he gets good just doesn't have like triple pane windows. Good, close those up. That could end this night.
Hey, Sue, real quickly, as we get back around the track here, we're still going around for another lap here at least. I want to talk about Tony Showen's car real quick. He's running the Dan Weldon paint scheme tonight, the William Rast familiar scheme that Dan Weldon ran, and back on October 16th, just a few days ago, that was the 5th anniversary of his passing. And of course, if you've watched the Lionheart IndyCar series, you know why they run the Lionheart name here. And he was a 2-time winner here at Kansas, earning back-to-back wins in 2007 and 2008 for Chip Ganassi Racing. But hats off to Showen for running that scheme tonight. That's a hot-looking car, man. Brings back good memories.
Every once in a while, IndyCar gets the package wrong or right. I don't know how you want to phrase it, but they get into that pack racing, and I tell you, Sean, I watch it, and I have butterflies in my stomach. It just, I just don't like it sometimes. It's so scary. Well, right now, Let's talk about Bob Mikus and Joe Branch. We talked about them staying out to lead a lap. How about staying out there to race for the lead right now? Both those guys have decided to stay out. So Mikus brings them across, leading, starting lap number 22 of 133. Joe Branch right behind. Those guys are going to have they're going to be lighter, less fuel. Tires are going to be a little older. Guerin, Hassert, and Krahula run 2, 3, 4, and 5 behind him.
Well, fresh air, not a bad place to be up there for Mikus, but the question is, how long can he hold on to it? Again, those older tires, I think, might be an issue for him, but still a good battle there up front. The rest of the field behind him gets off to a pretty good restart soon.
Yep, after we talked about that top 5, you're looking at Guerin right there. Then still in the hunt, Jake Wright, who likes to hang back a little bit. Jake Wright and Trevor Brissett running 6th and 7th.
Boy, we did have a bit of an incident on the restart. We didn't catch Soup, but Tony Lurcock, a little contact from behind, goes through a trip through the grass.
You know what happened? He got into the back, and maybe our director can get this. It was right at the restart. He got into the back of George Anzaldo, then he checked up, and then Jason Galvin got into the tail of him and spun him.
Yep.
So this is really not Galvin's fault. You can see here, look for Lurcock in that light blue plate machine. There it is, and then he got turned by the KGET machine. Nothing wrong with that one. And since he spins off into the grass, he's off the racing line. iRacing does not throw the yellow flag, so they're still racing.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he suffered any damage on the car. I'm checking in with him, but it certainly cost him a lot of time, a lot of positions. I've got Robert Bluen down on the apron here. I don't know if he's got a problem or not. Back here in 31st position. Car really slow on track right now.
All right, now we have a pass for the lead. We're going to look at this one because this is Guerin on fresh tires. Dandy Don able to get it down in there in front of Bob Mikus. I guess it would be Dandy Dan. Sorry about that. Dan Mikus. I was thinking of Dandy Don Meredith because I stole his line of Dave and Penny's baby boy. That's from Don Meredith and Monday Night Football.
Dandy Don. Yes, sir. Tell you what, I'm watching George Anzaldo and Dave Barber go at it right now. They had a close moment here just a second ago, and still trying to do the side-by-side racing. Playing a little game of leapfrog right now, but I got to be honest with you, that doesn't seem to be the game to play this evening, because just what happened right there, Dave got really, really incredibly loose. A lot of push. Now he makes a move on the inside of Anzaldo. Got to run off the turn. Question is, can he hold it down there? It's going to wash up a little bit. Anzaldo able to hang on to it behind him.
Look back there. Dave Barber, the guitar player for the Flaming O's, running in 13th position.
Krahula just got overtaken up there by Jake Wright. Puts Jake up to 6th.
Yeah, what's going on is Jake Wright. Now, what has happened? Wright was sitting back there. It was a 7-car train. Was happily running out in front, and then these guys were trying to run him back. Barge and Ian Adams, they've caught up to him, so now it's 9 cars up in front. Then there's a bit of a gap from Adams back to the driver in 10th, Chris Gutierrez. So it's a 9-car breakaway.
Yeah, and they've all started to kind of gang up on Bob Mikus.
Let's go up front. It's 3 wide right now. This is kind of scaring me. 3 wide, and they get us sorted out. Guerin on the low side, Big Joe Hassard in the middle, Mikus on the high side. They're having fun, Sean.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit. They've got the car of Robert Bluen right up in front of them, though. They're going to be coming up on him pretty quick at 3 wide racing. Not going to cut it. Bluen's going to have to make a decision here pretty quick.
I think Robert the high side sounds like the good way to go, and he does, and he lets by. There goes by Guerin. There goes by Bluen. Big Joe Hassard trying to get a little bit of a toe off of Bluen.
It's a nice run on the bottom.
Oops, I hear trouble. Ian Adams. Ian Adams, can he gather it back up? No. And he clips into the back of Jason Robarge. Robarge may have got away with that. He got a little bit of a clip on it. Not sure what got Adams into the grass. We'll see if we can figure it out.
Momentum got him into the grass. To be honest with you, Sue, it was just the momentum of the car traveling down there, and then it slid back up across the track in front of everybody. Guys checking up behind him get in trouble.
Well, I think Adams might have got tapped by Robarge a little bit. There's Robarge in that Marlboro car. And then Adams tries to gather it up. Then he gets it in the wall and gets a piece.
Yeah, but he actually never... boy, that was... well, again, a few cars checked up, and as they were checking up, more carnage happened, but a lot of cars involved in that.
Well, what's really strange is it was Robarge and Adams that got together originally, whether it's ghost contact or what. That set Adams loose. Then Adams goes across the grass, and who does he find back up on the track? Nobody else but Robarge again. That's that incident happened, and then it happened about another 2 miles down the road. Everybody coming in for stops.
Okay, I just found something. So, the cars of Connor Harrington and Pierre Degla, they had started to check up down towards the bottom. Vincent Blumenthal was still carrying just a bit of speed there coming through the front stretch, and as they were checking up in front of him, unfortunately, he picks up the back of Mercer, and that causes a big pile up down there. So those cars are going to need heavy attention. But everybody decides to come in, and looks like everything going to be fine there for Mr. Bissett.
Well, I'm not sure if everybody came in, because I think Dan Guerin stayed out.
Yeah, that's right. Dan did. So actually, I'm seeing several cars stayed out. Jake Wright, Rahula, Barber, Pierre, and Peter Edwins.
Yeah, so if we look at the guy who decided to come in, it's Michael Gray. Gray and Hazard are the guys who just came in for their stop.
And of course, Bob Micas came in for his.
I would have thought that would have worked out well for Micas, because he didn't stay out, so he's come in, making his actually now his first stop, and still running in about about 9th or 10th there? Yeah, 10th.
Yeah, he's running in 10th, and not bad for him, because he got close to his fuel window. I don't think they can really do any more than about 41 laps, according to the data that I've gotten. And so good on him. That turned out to be a pretty wise decision.
Yeah, so he stays out. He picks up track position. Then when the yellow comes out, he comes in and only loses a few spots. And honestly, he's going to be able to run a lot longer than the 6 or 7 cars out in front of him who are going to have to come in. These guys are on 17-lap stints for Edwin and Degla and Barber, Rahula, Wright, Bissett, and of course your leader, Guerin. So they're about halfway through a run. Tony Lurcock doing a little bit of a playing doctor there, looking over somebody's car. I'm not quite sure. Lurcock and Harrington giving an examination to somebody. I guess it's Harrington who was saying that he has some issues, and Lurcock says, "You look pretty good."
Yeah, well, Connor was one of the cars that was caught up in that melee, and he does have some damage to the number 24. Has got some damage to the left side, the left pod there.
Well, I guess if you want to get somebody to take a peek at your car, why not go with somebody with the nickname of Lookout? So Tony lives up to his nickname.
Great choice, yes.
So we are working lap number, I'm on the pace car, they never have a lap number on, lap number 37 of this 133 lap event. Dan Guerin out in front. Trevor Bissett in second.
We haven't really talked about the lap times too much, but 24 seconds. Talking about a 1.5 mile track. That's really clipping along. Top speeds I'm seeing right now, 231 miles an hour. Wow.
go ahead before they go green. As the pace car, the lights are off. Let's quickly put the camera on Edwins right now, running in Peter Edwins, running in 7th position. Started 31st. He's your hard charger right now. Pace car pulls away. Dandy Dan Guerin up in front, going to take him across the start-finish line. Starting lap number 38, being chased by Trevor Bassett. These guys are all on longer stints here. Your point leader, Jake Wright, running in 3rd. James Motley Crahula running in 4th, followed by the guitar player, Dave Barber. Barber with a run on Crahula, going to duck inside. Let's give 4th position to Dave. Drop James back to 5th. 6th and 7th go to Pierre Degla and the hard charger, Peter Edwins. And then just crossing the start-finish line, the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray, and Big Joe Hazard in 9th.
Okay, and then there's a big battle going on here right now. Chris Gutierrez, and he's got Bob Mikas and Tony Schowen right in his trail, and leading that little pack is Joe Branch. Chris Gutierrez, this is his home track. Goes to a lot of events here. He was at the Cup race here just last weekend. There's Brendan Lipkeman and Galvin in that battle. Oh, Bob Mike is taking a look up on the outside. They're looking to try and make that a 3-wide situation.
Yeah, I'm not liking what I see. Now Mike is trying to go to the top side again. He's getting a little bit of a push back behind that's Mike is on the high side. He's right behind Branch, actually. Mike is 3rd line. Now Branch ducks that car to the inside. He's going to get that pass made on Chris Gutierrez. So Branch moves up into 10th. Gutierrez now in 11th. Mike is on the high side. Going to try to squeeze it in between the wall. Now he's going to try to get it done. Boy, this is some exciting racing back here.
Boy, and oh man, Chris really had to get out of it. The push was real, and he's stuck right there in the middle.
And there goes Tony Schowen on the inside in the 31 machine. There's a lot of conversation going on back there, trying to make sure nobody gets into each other. Watching the whole thing in 14th, that's Brandon Lincoln back there in that beautiful flame-colored machine. Man, that's a pretty car. We saw it right there. We were riding on board with the little GSRC emblem burning up on the side of it.
It's the first medical equipment, DW12. Brandon out there wheeling it tonight.
One thing about this series, I don't think they let you race unless you have a custom scheme. I don't see any paint scheme that's ordinary there. Look at Stouffer on the high side there. Okay, now let's go back up to Bizet. We'll go back up to the lead. Dan Guerin still out in front. Let's give a little love to Trevor Bassett, able to hang with Bassett, or hang with Guerin, and now trying to make the high side work.
Yeah, and Dan Guerin, all-time lap leader here. Had a pretty impressive stats for Dan here. Jake right behind him.
Boy, Sean, I know they talked about maybe that the low side was the way to go. It looks like that high side works pretty well, as Bassett does a pretty good job of getting a nice run off there. Now he gets the dive. Look, as he comes up, you could do a little dipsy-do. No, he decides to make the high side work again. I thought he was going to go underneath Guerin that time, but no, Guerin's kind of protecting the inside.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, Trevor really get a good, strong run off the top. I said it earlier, I really thought we would see some racing before we went live tonight. I really thought we'd see some racing up there in the top middle groove of this track, and we're seeing it now. Trevor Bassett living dangerously right now, but Dan Guerin giving him a great fight.
Yeah, Bassett says, okay, if you're going to give me the outside, the high line, I'll take it. And actually, Guerin is kind of taken almost like the middle line. There's some times where I thought Bassett could actually dip underneath him if he wanted to, but it seems like Bassett has no interest in trying to go underneath him. He's just going to try to make that high side work. This is a good battle going on. Watching the whole thing is your points leader, Jake Wright. probably bring Jake get him on board here on the mic. He could do a little announcing. He's got a great view of this battle.
And a battle just behind them is real. Dave Barber just making a strong move on James Carolla as they got out of 2. And let's go on board with Pierre Degla and the first medical equipment onboard camera side by side.
Just got around Michael Gray, got around Degla there. Michael Gray, we're on board with him right now, looking ahead at Big Joe Hassett. Now we're looking backwards at Gray. Boy, Sean, I almost wish I was sitting in the stands right now because there's racing all around the track. You pick a spot, there's battles going on.
Yeah, and those two are working together right now because they're catching this group in front of them. They're starting to pull them in just a little bit. And they're all Carolla and Barber up there still going at it. Joe Hassert, Big Joe just caught kind of in the middle there.
Let me tell you, the promoters did not do a very good job of promoting this race because the stands are empty. I don't know where all the little two-dimensional fans are, but let's go back up front now. It's another DeGuerin again. Brissett actually had his nose out in front. He'd almost got it done. And working and trying to get around.
Three wide just behind him. Big Joe Hassert in the middle. James Carolla down on the bottom. Joe Hassert splits the uprights, comes out the leader in that little pack there. Dave Barber with a run down the backstretch on the inside.
Rahula, the big loser there, as he drops back to 7th position and now is under attack by the Racing Kangaroo. We like to call Michael Gray the Racing Kangaroo. Really, he is the only driver that is not from North America. There are mostly U.S. drivers here, a few Canadian drivers, and then Michael Gray. Dave Barber, man, he is, let's go, that blue machine, he has got that car really hooked up. I really like what Barber is doing.
Yeah, he's on rails tonight. He really is. Dave's having a good run. Boy, ran all the way up the track there. Joe Hassert able to get down, and Dave gets another great run on him. Dave takes it, going to try and take it right back. Pierre's kind of snuck himself up into this battle, too.
I'd like to see Barber. If Barber could get up to the 3 guys up in front, I'd like to see what he has for those guys. Every time I've seen Barber, Dave, really, the car does not work as well up high, but Barber's car is really good down low. You look at it there, now that's behind him in that dark no-name racing machine with those fluorescent kind of blue tires, those blue rim, maybe they're purple. That's Pierre Nightingale. He's got Dayglow rims on there.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, I hear a wreck somewhere. Could it be Bob Micas? Let's see if I can figure it out.
Oh, it was Galvin and Bluen got together in the back stretch. Boy, not good. Yeah, Bluen and Galvin on the back stretch. I thought that's what I said.
Yeah, I think I called out Mike because that was my timing of scoring gave me the wrong name. So we're looking from above now. Galvin. Oh, they just don't communicate well and they get together.
Yeah, it might have looked like Galvin, the car maybe drifted up just a little bit there.
Now, as we go on board with Galvin, what we think happens here, watch as he comes across and gets into the grass, we think that maybe he ran out of incident points. And right here, iRacing says, you're done. So, a bad night for Jason Galvin, especially if he's has the hopes of winning that last chance bracket.
Boy, and you know who else got caught up in that as Robert Bloom was coming back down the track, number 72, Vincent Blumenthal, clips him, and I'm thinking Blumenthal does pretty good damage to that car, unfortunately.
Okay, let me see if I can get these words out with a smile going from ear to ear. Let's go up and look at our leader right now. It is Alfred Excitement Shepherd. That's right, Unicorn Power. And of course, on the nose of that machine, as you can follow along here, wait till this car circles around, you'll see that beautiful Yugo logo up there on front. Doing everything he can to get that Yugo above Lexus. We're working on lap number 60 as they cross the line right here. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel. We'll take a short break. We'll be back before they go green. Don't go far away. The lights are off the pace car. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart round 20 of 22 in their IndyCar series. Looking to go green. Your leader right now, Big Joe Hazard, followed by Dan Guerin and Trevor Brissett. Everybody on the same pit strategy now. Everybody's come in, got everything taken care of, so it's like a brand new race here as we're real close to the halfway mark. Joe Hazard in that Arctic Cat machine. Uh-oh, what do you got?
Big stack up back there that starts with Dave Barber, Pierre Degley just behind him, James Carolla. Everybody gets stacked up on that start there. Wow.
Yeah, might have been. Looked like... Not sure where was Barber. Did he slow down? Maybe... I really can't put the blame on Barber. I think Degley just kind of jumped the gun here a little bit in the second dark black and blue machine. As much as I would like to put the blame on guitar players, I just can't do it.
Well, it looks like everybody got out of it unscathed. That's pretty fortunate. Dave Barber making the move on Pierre down to the inside. He'll do it out of 4. Pierre gonna fight back.
And you can see on that long Dougie Beard camera angle shot there, new leader is Trevor Brissett. But I'll tell you, Bissett did the pass on Hassert on the inside. All the successful passes I'm seeing made are the guys who can get to the inside. Let's watch one now, one more attempt. That's Jake Wright looking to go down low. We saw Dan Guerin play defense on protecting that inside line, making Bissett try to go high, and he just couldn't get it done. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 cars up in front.
Soup, as we approach the halfway point, I look at Pierre Deblel sitting there in 5th, up 16 spots. Could he be the sleeper tonight? Could he be the guy that gets this win? Would be a tremendous win for that Canadian.
Good racing all the way around. Lap 67. Let's go ahead and call 67 the halfway mark. The guy that I like, and now I'm looking now, is Dave Barber. You see him on that inside again in that, it says Barber Financial on it. It's a beautiful paint scheme. He is really good to the inside now. Watch him, he dives this car. This is where he's really good. He dives it in deep, and he just does as if Dan Guerin was not even there. And he moves up into 3rd position. I like the way Barber has this car running. If I didn't know better, I would say Barber has a special setup, but I know all these guys are running the same stuff.
Special tires, Sue. Special tires.
That's it. And Barber gets another spot. And how about one more on the inside? He is Guitar George. He knows all the chords, and he's able to take the lead into turn 3, carry it through turn 4, and we thought he would get there, and he does. Your new leader. Well, let's not make it too soon, but he gets credit for leading the lap. Dave Barber.
I like the carry-on reference there, Soup. That was good. Tony Schowen being overtaken by Chris Gutierrez. That's a battle for 12th place. Gutierrez, again, the hometown kid trying to make a run up through the field. He's up 3 spots to 12. Got a run on Krahula down there on the bottom. Krahula bringing back the Richardson Bike Mart paint scheme. Gotta love that one. That's a local favorite here in North Texas.
Sean, honestly, usually in these races, we get a sense of where the problems are going to lie. I have no clue. I am so nervous with this entire field. There's racing everywhere.
I've seen several guys right now that are just sitting back being really, really patient, Sue. George Anzaldo's one of them. So is Tony Schowen. We've talked about him several times because of the paint job he's running, but honestly, he's run a very, very patient and calculated race. James Krahula seems to have settled back just a bit. Stayed out of that fight up front. He had a little trouble on that restart. It seems like he's just trying to take care of the car right now. We see him battling there with Schowen. Schowen gets a really good run off the bottom. Has to back out of it, though. That looks like that car started to push just a bit, and he had to get out of the throttle a little bit. And that's exactly what you have to do, Soup. When that thing starts to run up the hill, you get that very first inclination it's going. You better just back out a little bit and let it settle. Once it gets going, the brakes do not help.
"27 drivers on the lead lap, the last one being just going a lap down is Vincent Blumenthal, as we spoke. So Jack Bogan now, who had that incident early, running in 26th, is still on the lead lap. It won't be long till they run up on him.
Oh boy. Yeah, that was close. Vincent doing all he can to stay out of the way. Bob Mike has got a tremendous run. Had nowhere to go. He had Christopher right there next to him. He had nowhere to move that car. He had to check up.
This is really tough to be off the pace when the whole field is coming through you. Branch, Krahula gets around, and Zaldo get around right now.
Yeah.
The driver we talked about, Tony Schowen, does it.
I think Vince would like a do-over on this one tonight. He's been in trouble all night. Still out on the track, but he's certainly off base. It's unfortunate for that machine this evening.
Oh, and they're coming from all angles now. Careful, Vince. There was some racing going on behind him I didn't like.
And Jason Robar is back here just slicing and dicing, trying to get himself back through the field. He's down 17 spots, Soup. He's got some work to do here.
Michael Gray trying to be a air traffic controller, trying to tell people where to go. Gray tucked in, running in 7th position. Just ahead of him, it's Stouffer and Wright. Jake just kind of minding his P's and Q's right now, staying out of trouble. Not really racing with anybody when he's had the opportunity, just sitting back, close enough to strike. But once again, the guy that I've had my eye on the whole race, that's Dave Barber. I just like the way that car ran out in front. Now we have a pass for the lead. Trevor Brissett takes it in there. Remember, Sean, everybody on the same pit strategy right now. Everyone working a 21-lap stint.
Focused on Chris Gutierrez right now and a little work he's doing with Bob Mikas. They're trying to get up into this pack in front of him here. Got some heavy hitters right up the track. How amazing would it be for Gutierrez to win this one? Again, hometown kid, hometown track, knows the layout really well. Might have gotten just a little bit of bad air there off the back of Bob Mikas because he fades off big time. Now Mikas has caught the pack.
Mikas running an 8th. That's a little bit farther up the standings than he usually likes to run. Not that he doesn't like to run up here, but usually he saves it for the end. Getting to the point now, though, Sean, with 50 to go, you have to start thinking track position because you could go green from here, and you don't want to be too far back. So if you've got anything in you.
Oh, Michael Gray having a big moment as Bob Mikas was getting around him. He's coming out of turn 4.
Yeah. Gray actually came over the mic and said, "Nice pass." There is more communication going on right now than I've heard in a Lionheart series in a long time.
It's a great battle going on up here in the lead. Dave Barber, Trevor Brissett having a really good one. Brissett just passes him back again.
And I'm not sure if they're just not doing a little do-si-do here, trying to put in some good lap times. Barber gets them.
One thing remains constant. Dan Guerin still up in this battle, on board with the Big Joe show. He's in that popcorn position watching, but right behind Big Joe, Big Dan Guerin hanging in there, having a good run. There he is on the inside, moving up the track a little bit. You know, I said he was the all-time leader in laps here, but, you know, he was one of the previous 2 Lionheart winners here with James Krahula, seasons 2 and 3, Dan in 2, James in season 3. Both of those cars looking very strong this evening. They've unlocked the door, the answers to this track. Who knows? Dan could just be laying in wait right now. Part of his strategy, I'm sure. But again, the battle up front here, look at those two, Brissett and Dave Barber just having a really good one. And Big Joe just hanging back, taking it easy right now. Letting those two do all the work for him. All he's got to do is just catch their toe every time they get out of a turn.
And AA Excitement Shepherd has brought that Yugo labeled car in for a pit stop. I believe we're getting close, Sean. So some of these guys, they're starting to say, I'm coming in. Some of these guys, I think, are going to be coming in soon. I think Bob Mikas has dropped out of the pack. Now, it's not for fuel. He's only been out there for 29 laps. I think he's coming in because of tires. Be interesting to see what the lap times are that these guys are running. Maybe I can take a peek of that. See if they're actually slowing down.
Oh, they're definitely slowing down a little bit, but just around a second. I would not say it's extreme at this point.
Well, your leader was running 24.7, 24.8 right after the pit stop. Right now, running 25.2, 25.3. So about a half a second a lap. Yeah, Sean, we've seen that a lot worse. We heard some of the drivers in the pre-race before when we were talking to them said they're going to come in when the tires start to go away. Other drivers said they're going to stay out until the tank is empty. So we'll see how this works out.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a mixed bag here. I think we're definitely going to get a mixed bag.
I would think
strategy.
With 45 to go, you'd want to run this 31 here. You might want to run a little bit longer, see if you can do it with one more stop.
Soup, I just stumbled across something interesting. The top four right now, they're all Midwest drivers. Kansas Speedway, Midwest track. Coincidence?
I think not. We look there at Dave Barber running second. He's been one of the fastest guys. We wondered what he would have when he got to the lead. Well, he showed us. Bassett out in front. Barber in second, being challenged by Hassard on the high side. One more time. They try to protect the high side. Now look at this run that Hassard's going to get. That's one of the first times I've seen the top side work. In fact, boy, Hassard has a nice run. Takes it all the way into 3. Might want to see if he can keep that momentum running all the way around. Now tucks in behind Bassett. Looking now, he ducks to the inside. He's going to try to make it work down there. Hassard weaving his way into the lead. Big Joe Show out in front. Top 4 cars have pulled away. Dan Guerin, the caboose, and the 4-car train up front. It's about 7/10 of a second back to Chris Stoffel in 5th. And then the man playing possum, Jake Wright, back there. Yeah, you're very much alive, Jake. We're not falling for it. Running in 6th position.
Well, Soup, our top 10 right now, top 13 actually, all on working lap 35. About to work lap 36 on this fuel run and tires. So I think that window's about to open up, my friend.
Bogan is on the grass, but I guess everything is okay. We're hearing a lot of talk coming over now. Bassett's saying maybe he's looking to pit. In fact, he is. Here comes Bassett now. 39 to go, and Bassett would get a lap about 37 laps.
Yep, that's what I got.
Maybe he thinks he's going to go the distance here. 24 says they are coming in as well. 24 machine would be Connor Harrington. Kangaroo coming in, Michael Gray. Everybody, they got to the halfway mark of this run, Sean. That's what it was. This pit is about 38 laps this stint with 37 to go.
Big Joe Hassard making his way in.
Oh, and
Dave Barber right behind him.
Maybe missing the cone was Dave Barber. We'll have to make sure that Dave doesn't pick up a slowdown penalty. I'm not sure he got that car inside. Ooh, I don't know if you could... Oh, he got inside the cone. What he did, he went across like that painted yellow triangle. And he just gets it in here. Woo!
That's about as close as it gets there, Soup.
I'd hate to see Dave throw that away. Even if he is a guitar player, you want him to do well.
Here goes the race off pit road. Remember, we're under green. Here we go. Everybody getting back on track at the same time.
Murcock is out. Looks like Bassett getting around Krahula. Let's see who's out there. Bassett going around some bar. He gets around Barber. Bassett's got it up to 7th. Now, is he the leader of all? No, it looks like Hassel. Nope, it looks like Dan Guerin is our leader.
Yeah, Dan is just getting off the exit onto the track.
There goes Big Joe around him right now. So Big Joe just got around him. He had a full head of steam. So Big Joe's going to get it. Guerin's going to try to get that car wound up into 2nd. Jake Wright in 3rd.
Boy, Big Joe really had it wound up. It might be tough to catch him soon. I hate to say it, but it is just a little over a second. I think they could probably run him down, but Big Joe's coming up on us. Will be a lap car in front of him. He can catch the toe. There, Pierre just up in front of him. They could work together here. Joe could run away with this thing.
Okay, Sean, let's do it through the field right now. I got a hunch things are going to settle down a little bit. So we'll take 2 at a time. Out in front, Big Joe Hassard. He's got his pit stop out of the way. He should be good to go from here. Just working his way around Pierre Nightingale right there, putting Daigle a wrap down. So, Joe Hassard out in front. 2nd place driver, about 1.2 seconds behind him, is Dan Guerin. Again, he can go the distance. Who do you got in 3rd?
Christopher actually just moved up to 3rd, takes it away from Trevor Bassett in 4th.
And not too far behind them as they see that battle again as Bassett tries to duck down inside of Stouffer. The 2 cars chasing them is the Racing Kangaroo Michael Wright and then the Racing Kangaroo Michael Gray. This battle right here for 3rd is kind of too good to leave right now. Stouffer, Bassett, Wright involved here, Barber. Let me take you out of this mess here. Michael Gray in 7th, and then it goes back to 8th, James Krahula. Then, Sean, who do you got in 9th?
Joe Branch right now, Tony Shaw, and everybody's so close back there, 9th and 10th. The top 10 just all any one of those positions can be had. It is the lap du jour, sir.
Branch, Showen, and then running in, drop back a little bit to 11th. Running all by himself, thank goodness for us. Gets it a little easier to call. Brandon Limkeman. Limkeman started 10th, dropped down to 11th. Then a little battle back here for 12th. Brian Yasik in a battle with Connor Harrington, sorry. Sean, who do you got in 14th? Got a nice little battle going there.
Yeah, Michael Goodman, the New York driver, and Tony Larcock having a nice little slugfest there. Getting by, I think that was Vincent Blumenthal down there on the apron that they were getting by.
Then a 3-car battle behind them. Right now, George Anzaldo gets up to 16th. Jason Robarge running in 17th. And also in that mix looking at him is Ron Hacker in the 18th spot.
You know, Soup, I'm watching the front, the battle up front. It's Big Joe Hassard playing a little bit of leapfrog with Pierre, and I've got to be honest with you, I'm wondering if it's slowing him down because Dan Guerin's starting to reel him in. Got it to under a second now. He is starting to catch Big Joe Hassard.
Keep an eye on that. We'll go running back through here the rest of this here. 19th position, Tyler Turnbull in a nice battle with Matthew Mercer. That's for 19th and 20th. A little farther back, haven't heard much from him. All race Ed Twetweiler running in 21st. And then we get to cars that are several laps down. Let's see if we go to 22nd, Alfred E. Shepard. So look at that, Tutwiler and Shepard. Lexus and Hugo running nose to tail. Shepard does have that point for leading the lap, though. The last car on the lead lap, Chris Gutierrez. I hear a car up high in the wall. Let's see if we can find out who it is.
Yeah, I think it's Pete Edwins. Yeah, Pete Edwins got a little bit of the wall coming out of 2. It's really slow, and man, that was
right in front of Stouffer and Bassett. Yeah,
Bassett. Yeah, they just
Stouffer and Bassett running 3rd and 4th got really close to getting into him.
Yeah, it was Dave Barber too. Was also right there looking at that from behind. That was awful close.
There you see. We look at Edwards going back live. Barber has had trouble. Barber and Gray get together. We'll get it on replay. Oh, I think Michael Gray, I'm not sure where he was going here.
Yeah, he run up the track, and Gray takes a hard hit. Dave gets by, though, I think, clean.
The good thing about that is the innocent driver came out okay. Michael Gray coming over talking about it. I'm not sure. He just gets a run. I guess he just got surprised, got a run, and then maybe got washed up. What do you think?
I think that's exactly what happened. I think the car did start to wash up the track just a bit and couldn't keep it off of Dave there, and unfortunately it cost him more than it did Dave. That's heavy damage on his car, and I don't know if he'll be able to continue.
Okay, crew chief, you can go the distance. Do you come in? Probably not up front. How far back do you go? Did you decide to come in?
The suit.
Well, one guy, Joe Branch, decides. Joe Branch says he was running about out of the top 10. I'll come in and get fresh rubber, see what I can do.
Yeah, that's too far back to do it. I'm going to go ahead and stay out here. Or everybody's going to come in.
Well, the guys at the back are... Guy Daigle was running to the back. He comes in. Shepard, all the guys who were at the back of the pack comes in. Shepard decided to come in.
I'm very non-committal on this right now. You've got the fuel to make it. Okay. You're all on the same tires.
Well, I think 14 lap-old tires from the guys in front. So here's the guys who've decided to come in. It looks like Joe Branch. He's going to come out, I guess, in about 18th position. I think he probably sacrificed. I think he was running about 14th or 15th at the time. He's going to sacrifice 3 positions to get fresh rubber. Maybe that's okay. No way the guys in front like Hassard or any of those guys running up there could afford to come in.
Yeah, I don't think you want to gamble that at this point. Track is proven to be pretty hard to make your way up from too deep in the field, and I just don't know if you want to take that chance. Position very important here. Joe seemed to be running pretty good up there in the clean air. He's going to have it on this restart, so we'll see if he can break away from Dan Guerin. But again, Guerin, a previous winner at this track, going to be awful hard to beat tonight. Great to see Christopher up there, 15 spots up to 3rd right now. The Indiana driver looking for a win this evening. Trevor Brissett holding down 4th, and James Krahula, there's a guy looking at trying to get himself up on the podium there in the points championship suit. Certainly, but he's got 2 wins in this series, both of them at night. Could be looking for another night win this evening.
Well, if I've learned anything from watching Game of Thrones, and that is the night is dark and full of terrors, but apparently not for Krahula. Barber, after that little incident with Michael Gray, going to file out into 7th position. Pace car comes across, working now. Lap number 114. Sean, who do you like?
You know what? I like James Krahula. Give me Krahula in the Richardson Bike Mart DW12. I think that young man's got a chance at this one.
I'm going to stay neutral, but if I were a gambling man and if the odds were nice, I would put money on the flaming own Dave Barber. If you can get that car up front, I like the way that car handles down low.
Yeah, and Dave is quite the technician with these machines. Could certainly be a good spot for him here to get a win.
That beautiful chrome gold colored Mustang ready to pull away. Boy, the lights glisten off of that in this Kansas night. He dives into the inside. Big Joe Hazard leads him across the line. Sean, what time is it?
It's time to boogie. Let's get this party started, baby.
19 laps to go. Big Joe Hazard out in front. Dave and Penny's baby boy Dan Guerin giving pursuit. Chris Stouffer in third. We haven't seen him that far up in a while. Bassett, Krahula, Jake Wright, your point leader, in sixth. And the man who looks like that car can work on the inside, Dave Barber, your top 7. With apologies to the guys in the back of the pack, for the last 18 laps or so, we'll be focusing up front. Here comes a pass now, as it looks like Guerin going to the inside. And he gets that done. Hazard might have made a mistake trying to protect the outside like a park ranger. That didn't work very well. Left the inside open. And Guerin took advantage and takes the lead. Hazard now still on the high side, getting eaten up. Stouffer. No, Stouffer can't get a bite off, and he's going to have to drop down into third. Big Joe Hazard drops into second. Stouffer. None of those guys able to pull away from Bassett. Krahula, Wright, and Barber all hanging in that top 7. It's 1.5 seconds back to 8th position. We'll get there if it's really important, but right now we'll stay up front, Sean. What a battle going on up front.
You know, if somehow Jake Wright could find his way to the top of the podium, it would be his 11th win in his career, tying him with all-time leader Jesse Vincent. He's hanging back there looking for an opportunity here. 16 laps to go, 15 this time by.
Guerin, Hazard, and Stouffer, but that can't even get those words out before it changes, as Big Joe takes the lead now. Hazard and Guerin swapping positions back and forth. Now Guerin dives to the inside. He's going to lead him into 3. Look for Hazard to do the dipsy-do underneath and lead him across the start-finish line. Or at least into 1. Here comes the run from Hazard, and he does it. Guerin leaves the room. I think they're happy to do that little square dance. Here comes somebody saying, "Excuse me, can I cut in?" And that's Chris Stouffer. May I have this dance? Welcome to the party. Chris Stouffer running in second now.
You know, Trevor Bassett just behind all this action. He got shuffled out, man, and he finds himself at the back of this pack now.
Krahula, Barber, Wright, and Bassett run. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Barber on the high side being challenged by the points leader, Jake Wright. Not going to get it done. Everybody stays in contact. Now a pass for the lead. Going on the high side is Hazard. That's not going to work up there. Trying to get a run off. Stouffer squeezing Hazard up as high as he can. Then he dives it down to the white line. Look at Hazard get the run as he dives it off the corner, trying to go underneath. Stouffer protecting the inside. Drips up high. Hazard's going to duck down underneath. I think Hazard's going to get it done.
Krahula with a big move, shooting past Dave Barber off of turn 2. Closes up on Dan Guerin. Krahula looking to get up into this fight.
Those drivers in the back have got to get going with 10 to go. They've got to start thinking track position. They can't be sitting back there in 5th and hope to get there. And that's what Barber and Krahula are thinking right now as Barber gets out in front now. Krahula drops down into 6th. Barber's got to get on the back. Krahula in 4th. Here comes Barber on the inside. Look at Barber now on the inside. This is where that blue and black machine likes to work. Dives it in deep. Can he get a bite off? No, he keeps it. Oh no, Krahula's into him. Krahula and Barber get together. Also caught up into it is the black, but Barber is in it. Let's bring up the replay.
Krahula gets a run on Guerin and makes just a little bit of contact with Guerin that sends him off to the inside, right into Barber.
Barber says, "I don't know what happened. I know We think that Chris Stouffer and Joe Hazard get together, and that kind of starts it. Yeah, it actually started up front. And then, what's that, Krahula, I guess, gets into Barber. So who survives? Hazard survives. Stouffer lives to race again. Guerin right up to 4th. Bissett in 5th. The big losers are Krahula and the Flaming O's guitarist, Dave Barber.
Yeah, that's a shame. That really is. And it did start up front, and it was just kind of a chain reaction of everybody trying to make an evasive move. You're racing tight there with, 10 laps to go, and it all falls apart. Those drivers were doing some great racing up there, and we're going to get a chance to get this race started. It's going to be a dash for the cash, as they say. It's going to be interesting. Dan Guerin's sitting in a good spot right now, but Big Joe Hazard gets away from that unscathed and will remain your leader. He's going to have to fend off some pretty tough customers. Stouffer, he's up 16 spots. He's up in this fight. Didn't have a lot of muscle there in the qualifying effort, but man, he's been able to survive this thing and work through this field. What a run for Chris Stouffer this evening.
And we've seen him make passes. It'll be interesting to see as they go green here how much Hazard protects the inside. Can he play defense for about 4 laps, which is what I think we're going to go for here. They're currently working with 7 to go. There'll be 6 to go when they cross this time, but the lights are still on. You got to remember, Sean, if there's a yellow flag with less than 5, that's pretty much the race. Unless it comes on the last lap, where I don't think they throw the yellow if there's an accident on the last lap. They come across, all the fans, all the eyes are on the pace car to see if it goes off, and you can hear the audible groan from the two-dimensional fans as the lights stay on for one more time around.
The lights are on. That's right. I suspect maybe a little bit of fuel burning going on here. It gives them an opportunity to rev them up, get a little fuel out of the tank, lighten them up just a bit, maybe make them a little bit faster soon.
I got an idea for iRacing to make a little money. You should be able to pay iRacing, and they can put you as one of the two-dimensional fans in the stands. Give you a seat right there at the start-finish line.
Well, we have. I would say we have definitely. We have faced the point of no return here in Kansas. What do you think, Sue?
Okay. I'm with you.
I'm unloading the whole catalog tonight, baby. Kansas is just all right with me.
And now they come across. Now all the fans again one more time. Listen for the cheer. And yay, there it is. You hear the roar goes up as the lights go off. They'll have 4 to go. That's about just over 5 miles of racing here.
Sue, our top 10 is littered with a bunch of guys that started outside the top 10. Have done some yeoman's work this evening and just keeping themselves in this race. This has been a tough one this evening. Yazik sitting there in 6th, Showen in 7th. Connor Harrington, newcomer to the league, a New York driver, sitting there in 8th. Brendan Lipkeman still sitting there in the top 10. Ron Hacker up 6 places, sits there in 10th. Solid evening for these gentlemen.
All right, with there only being 4 laps of green flag racing, assume everybody keeps it clean. I'm going to beg the drivers that are racing back there for 14th and 15th. Behave yourself, boys. We really don't care if you finish 14th or 15th. We'd like to see what's going on up in front. Keep an eye on Big Joe Hazard now. He is being paced. He's being timed by Chris Stouffer. Stouffer wants to get a good jump. He's sitting there. You can hear Big Joe saying, hut, 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 Stouffer not biting. Stouffer not going outside. Oh my goodness, what a great jump from Big Joe. He's down into corner number 1. Stouffer has about 6 or 7 car lengths behind. Running in third is Guerin. Guerin looking for some way around. He's got to get around Stouffer quick if he wants to challenge for the lead. Meanwhile, Stouffer gets a nice toe, and he starts to charge up on the back of Hassard. Hassard on the white line, gonna make Stouffer go around the top side. Stouffer says, I'll give it a shot. He's gonna get a little help from Guerin as they go 1, 2, 3 across the start-finish line. 3 wide with 3 to go. Hassard on the inside. Now Stouffer drifts a little bit high. Guerin couldn't find anywhere to work up there. Still looking a way around. Here comes Dan Guerin. Stouffer now on the high side. Joe Hassard on the low side. Guerin back in that white and blue machine. Stouffer drops in front. He cuts off Guerin as they come across now the start-finish line. 2 to go, and they're 2 wide at the start-finish line. Hassard holding that inside. He is making Stouffer do it on the top. Stouffer giving it all he's got. He's got a little bit of momentum now. Here comes Guerin. Those 2 drivers are punching a big hole, but there just is no room for Dandy Dan to find a place to go. They come across with 1 to go. Hassard on the inside is going to lead the last lap. Here comes Guerin. Can he find a spot? Guerin weaving. There's a crash behind, but we're going to finish, I think. We're on the white flag lap, so there's going to be no yellow flag. Look at the run that Stouffer gets. Stouffer now pulls alongside. Here comes another country into the mix. Hello to Jake Wright. They are side by side as they come around 4. Hassard on the inside. Stouffer on the outside. The winner is going to be Big Joe. No, it's Stouffer. I called it wrong. Oh, Stouffer got there.
So maybe as close a win as we've ever seen in the series.
By 1/100th of a second, Stouffer over Big Joe Hassard, Dan Guerin, and Jake Wright. I went with my eyes instead of the stats. What a race.
Kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wow. Oh, Big Joe Hassard just got to be crushed right now. Let it all into the last turn and a drag race off of the turn. Wow.
2 by 2. How about almost 1/10 of a second separating the top 4 drivers? Okay, now we're going to bring on a last lap wreck that we didn't cover. Hopefully all the drivers are okay. We're going to bring this up. We're not sure what we're looking at here. I think Robarge is involved in it. Lipkeman gets into it. Took out a lot of drivers, but they were kind enough to do it on the last lap. Lipkeman and Harrington got together.
Yeah, and actually Robarge had gotten together with Chris Gutierrez back there. I think that's what you had seen also, Sue. Yeah. So there were multiple incidents going on.
I saw that one. It looked like Harrington came down. Then DeGlay also avoided and said, "My gosh, all that going on while the leaders were battling for the win."
What a finish! Jeez,
the fireworks have been set aflight. They are in the sky. This is Global Sim Racing Channel. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back to run down the entire lineup, tire standings, interviews, and close up shop. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart Series, round number 20 of 22 in the Season 4 schedule. And we have a first-time winner today, Chris Stouffer. I believe this is his 32nd attempt, and he picks up his first win of his career. Congratulations to Chris Stouffer. He did it by 1/100th of a second over Big Joe Hassard. 6/100ths of a second back was Dan Guerin, and 9/100ths of a second back, Jake Wright in fourth. Those drivers all finishing within a 10th of a second, 1 through 4. Tony Schowen, 5th place finish. Trevor Bissett and Brian Yasek, a quiet 6th and 7th. Chris Gutierrez, Ron Hacker, and George Anzaldo round out 8th, 9th, and 10th. Sean?
All right, we'll go back to 11th. Michael Goodman in his debut this evening. He'll finish 11th at the number 99. Great job there, Mike. Matthew Mercer finishes 12th. Joe Branch, 13th. Jason Robarge, 14th place tonight. Ed Tutwiler, 15th. Alfred Shepard with a big 16th place finish. Dave Barber, 17th. Tough night for Dave, man. Tony Lurcock, 18th. James Grahula, another guy, tough night there at the end. Sorry, Jimmy, 19th. And Pierre Knight and Tegla, 20th.
Hitting blackjack, Connor Harrington, Brandon Linkeman in the 22nd position. Linkeman got caught up, I believe, with Harrington in that last lap crash. That's why they're back there on the lead lap. One of the Turnbulls, let's say it's Tyler, going to get 23rd position. Peter Edwins and Jack Bogan in 24th and 25th. Vincent Bluthenthal and the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray in 26th and 27th. Bob Mikas, we saw him up front for a while, is going to end up in 28th. Jason Galvin, not a good day for the Bakersfield driver, going to be 29th. And then rounding out your 30th is Robert Blue. And Sean?
All right, then we'll go 31st to Ian Adams tonight. Tough night for Ian. Never really got started for him. Kenneth McCoy, 32nd. Jared Turnbull, 33rd. Dylan Lee, another guy, had some trouble really early in this race, and, well, it ended the night early for him. He'll go 128 laps down the back of this 34-car field this evening. But, Sue, it's not important what happened there at the very, very back of the field. What happened up front was just absolutely amazing. What an incredible finish to this race. Probably one of the, certainly I think probably the greatest finish I've had with you in this series. My head is still spinning.
Yeah, I'm not going to sleep well tonight, not calling the winner as he crossed the start-finish line. But we got it fixed up. And, Sean, I got to catch myself here because there's a lot of metaphors I could use when somebody does something for the first time. But let's just say that, he's a man tonight, and that's Chris Stouffer. Finally got his win. Chris, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was definitely a tough race. That's for sure. It could have went either way there at the line. I have no idea how close it was. That was a lot of fun.
There was no way that Joe Hassard was going to give you that inside. He was going to make you do it up top.
Yeah, and I'm surprised I was able to do that. I didn't know where he was going to go on the front stretch when we came off of that turn, how soon he was going to go down to the apron. I figured he was going to go down there. I just didn't know how much room I was going to have, but I wanted to follow him down there as much as I could, so he didn't have that much of an advantage.
Got a little bit scared on the restart because, boy, you were right there with him. I could feel you trying to time it, and then he really took off. Were you worried he was going to get away from it, or did you know with 4 laps to go there was plenty of time to get back in the tow and catch him?
Yeah, I knew he was going to get a little bit of a jump. Leader typically does. I figured as long as I could stay within 5/10 of him, I would have a shot because that's where the slipstream is. And I was able to do that. And luckily, Dan behind me didn't race me too hard for second. So I did have the opportunity to get up there and race Joe for the win.
And then let's follow up. Let's wrap up with Dan Guerin. The poor guy was fast, but with you side by side with Hassard for most of those 4 laps, there was just nowhere for him to come around and get you.
Yeah, that was kind of the plan, I have to say. I knew as long as me and Joe were pretty much side by side, Dan wouldn't have anywhere to go unless he really wanted to take it up high. But you would just lose your momentum. Well, not necessarily lose your momentum, but it's really hard to complete a pass up high, especially in the turns, because when you go down low, you pretty much get about a car length on the guy who is up high through the turn. So, but yeah, it was a good race. You know, don't really know what to say. It's first time I've been here.
Well, you proved that qualifying is overrated. Started 18th. You still got the win. Man, it was a great race. Congratulations. And I'm going to speak for Sean. We're both happy for you to get that one under your belt. So let's go ahead and see if we can make it 2 for 2 now before we wrap up this season.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm not going to hope for too much. I'm glad I got this one. And if we'll see how it goes next week. And if I happen to, get up there again, I'll fight for the win. That's for sure.
Okay, Christo, for your winner today. They say it's easier the second time. We'll see if that proves to be true. Sean, who do you got?
Well, I have caught up with the Big Joe Show. Big Joe Hassert, second place tonight. You had it, man. You had the win. What happened there at the end?
I'm really glad that you guys gave me 5 minutes to cool down. I don't know. I don't know why he passed me. I wasn't sliding at all. I didn't scrub any speed. He just got a hell of a run, I guess. Even cutting to the bottom. I don't know. You find a way to beat me this year, and it happens. It's a damn shame though, because he caused that last caution, and it enabled him to win that race. But nothing against him, but that's racing, I guess. So I'm just disappointed. But
Joe,
I'll take a second. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I tied for pole, and I lose the race by 100th. What else can you say about the night?
Well, Joe, what I can say is it was a great race. It was a great finish. Sorry you came out on the short end of that, but listen, we were on board with you several times tonight in the Big Joe Show camera, and we're happy to see you get a second place finish this evening.
Well, hopefully I gave everybody a good show. I think I was within striking distance of the lead. Had another patented 3-second lead after a pit stop again. So I don't know. We're just getting ready for Auto Club, I guess. I want to win that race by 10 seconds because I think it's long overdue.
So let me ask you a question about coming out with that 3-second coming out of the pit there and that next to last pit stop there. Was what you were doing with Pierre, was that slowing you down and allowing Dan to stay close, or was that helping you out?
We couldn't tell really. He's kind of just staying right where he was. He wasn't in our draft, but maybe he was getting a little that he could stay there. All throughout practice all week, we had thought that I had measured my times, and I was getting a 1 to 2 tenths while I was swap drafting. And for some reason, Pierre ended up, the tail end of the lead lap, and we were able to swap draft each other, but we weren't pulling away. But when we weren't swap drafting, he was catching us even more. So I don't know how he was that much faster. I don't know.
Well, Joe, it's a long road to Auto Club, but we'll see you there next week, sir. I'm sure you'll have your game face on once again, and we'll see you there, my friend.
Sounds good. Hopefully I can pick up win it. I don't know. I want to win out. I don't know about you guys. I just want to win out because I think I had that glitch out error last year at Atlanta. I had to drop all the way to the back when leading, and we all know what happened at Auto Club. So I think it's not the last you've seen of me this year. We're going to finish the season strong. So
right, and you'll have to get through Atlanta first to get to Auto Club, but we wish you the best both, and I'm sure we may have a chance to talk to you again. Take care, Joe.
I want to be in a better mood the next 2 times I talk to you guys.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
See you guys.
All right, and that was the Big Joe Show. driver of the number 44 DW12. And Soup.
Just to put some perspective on that, that's not 10 miles of frustration. That's not 133 laps of frustration tonight. That's an entire 20 races of frustration that he has had. He has not had the season that he would have won. He has one win that was way back at Homestead, but that's a distant memory. And he's just, and like you said, but he ties for the pole and loses the race by 1/100th of a second. Welcome to Joe Hazard's season. Okay, who can we bring in next? We want to talk to
Dan Garrett is here. Yes.
Oh, let's talk to Dan Garrett, our third place finisher today. Dan, let's jump right to the back, right to the end of the race. Your car was fast. You just needed a wider racetrack.
The car was extremely fast. I wanted the high side. I know I could have passed on the high side. Practice races the past few nights, I was making passes around like Ron Hacker, and Ron's a very fast, clean driver, and he'd be running second lane, and I'd pass him to third lane. I know I could have done it. I just ran out of time.
Did you have any thoughts? There was one time you guys were kind of in a three-way formation there. It looked like you just couldn't find the room with Stouffer on the high side and Hazard down low. There was no spot for you.
Yeah, I poked my nose up there. I'm like, well, I don't want to make this thing three wide and risk it, so I'm just going to back out, dive down to the bottom, try to get Joe's draft, and which I did just that. But then they just shot down to the bottom of the turn, or bottom straightaway coming off the turn there. So I shot back up to defend myself from Jake, and it was just crazy last 2 or 3 laps.
Was there any thought, Sean and I gave it, we dismissed it, was there any thought of coming in for tires there with that, not on the last pit stop with 5 to go or so, but about that halfway mark when there were about 20 to go? Never a thought in your mind though, right?
Never a thought in my mind, not even once.
You had that track position and want to give that up. Well, man, you put on a good show, you led a little bit there. Mom and Dad watching at home, got to see you on TV a lot, so congratulations for another podium position for you.
Thanks. I just want to give a shout out to my team. Love you guys. You guys are great. Unfortunately, we had some bad luck tonight with them. Spotter Dave Barber, and I definitely wanted to say congratulations to Jake. He's pretty much wrapped this thing up now. There's no way I can catch him, but congratulations, Jake. You deserve this one. But next year, I'm coming after you.
And hopefully GSRC will be around to watch that. Congratulations to Dan Guerin, your third place finisher today. We think he's going to move up into second place in the points and probably be able to bring that home with his biggest rival, Jonathan Goke, now being deployed. So he will not be racing for the rest of the season. And then, Sean, let's let you talk to George Anzaldo here, who had a good finish.
Yes, sir. My buddy from the F&B ambulance company. George, what a run tonight, man. You were in a state of yo. I don't know if you're familiar with that is, sir, but that's a yo-yo up and down the field. But, buddy, you got to be happy with top 10.
Yeah, Sean, I'll take it definitely after the battles that were going on tonight. I felt I probably could have been a little bit further up the grid there, but unfortunately there were some kind of tough restarts. Field got checked up a few times and got freight trained and had to battle my way up and down the grid. And fortunately, that final pit stop, I slid through my stall just ever so slightly, and it cost me a little bit of time. Fortunately, the final caution gave me an opportunity to get one last shot. But the high side was working, and it was beautiful.
It was. We saw a lot of drivers having trouble out there with the push this evening. No, you did not undersell it. The push was real. But man, what a great race this evening! What a great finish! I can't wait for you to see the replay on that finish, George. It's an exciting one. I think you're going to be really happy with that. But real quickly, would you like to release any information? Are there any estimations as to who may wrap up this championship? Is it a done deal? What do you got for us?
Yeah, it looks like statistically, Jake Wright has clinched the championship for 2016. So definitely want to give him a big shout out and congratulations. We'll crown him officially at the end of the finale at Auto Club. But yeah, definitely wanted to make that announcement. Congrats, Jake. Good job.
Another strong
our second
season.
2-time champion.
Yeah, another strong season for him. And George, I know you've got exciting things coming for 2017, and including some new drivers and some new talent making their way up through the ranks. I'm sure there are going to be several with their sights set on Jake Wright's return for a three-peat.
Yeah, we're actually kind of compiling our list of the guys who are interested in running for 2017. We're going to handpick the roster just because there's so much interest there and only so many spots. So we should have a pretty strong roster for 2017. But yeah, they're all going to be gunning for the championship. We'll see if we'll have a three-peat champion next season, but we'll have to wait and find out.
George, thanks for always bringing us some great races here on Wednesday night, and tonight was one of the great ones, I think. I can't again wait for you to see the replay. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week, my friend.
No problem. Thanks again. See you, Sean. See you soon.
All right. And that is George Ansaldo, the, well, let's face it, the Grand Poobah, the league president, if you will. Started this thing up and it's got it running strong, and congratulations to him on a top 10 finish tonight. Soup.
Okay, well, let's wrap up with just a few little points here to do a little business here. A couple things. Running in 15th position tonight was Ed Tutwiler in the Lexus machine. Right behind him, Alfred E. Shepard in the Yugo. So that battle's going to stay close, but Shepard did get a point for leading a lap. One more thing, if you're watching a Soup and Crackers broadcast, keep Google handy. State of Yo, why don't you go ahead and look up Tommy Smothers and the Yo-Yo Man to get a little bit of that one. I can't believe Sean Ambrose actually, nobody in America knows that reference other than me. Incredible. Let's now, and then we wrap up finally with this last little point I'd like to make in the championship last chance bracket. Jake Wright finishes 4th, which means that Jason Galvin will have to finish ahead of Jake Wright next week at Atlanta, and either finish 4th or better and ahead of Jake Wright to win the championship. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. Okay, I think we've done the interviews, ran down the points, done some miscellaneous trivia for you. So let's close up shop here. First of all, we'd like to thank First Medical Equipment. They've been with us the entire season, and we just cannot thank them much. I know a lot of the guys there are watching. I tip my hat to you for helping us out. They offer durable medical equipment sales, rental, and service for home modifications such as stair lifts and ramps, power wheelchairs, and scooters. I'm a fan of the scooter over the power wheelchair personally, but that's just my choice. Lift chairs, CPAP, oxygen. My wife uses oxygen every once in a while. I go over and take a hit from that. Good stuff. You need it, and they got it. The service, they service southeast corner of Iowa and the surrounding counties, not the surrounding countries. I haven't done that one for a while. For more details, visit firstmedicalequipment.com. I'm getting a little loopy, but honestly, just go to Google First Medical Equipment, and you'll find it because I blew it. It's firstmedequipment.com. I had a 4 a.m. broadcast today. I'm almost done. Here we go. I'm almost done. Thanks to, is it Pierre Degla? Did he sponsor the broadcast?
Trevor Bissett.
It says Pierre Degla on my script. That's your job. That's your responsibility. Trevor Bissett for sponsoring the broadcast today, and Pierre Degla for sponsoring last week's broadcast, and Sean not taking it off the script. Sean, what's next for you?
And thanks to Sim Nation, they're a Facebook page that is dedicated to all forms of sim entertainment, such as online sim racing, flight sim, and more. Remember, Sim Nation is the place to get all the latest and greatest media, reviews, and content for all your simulators, all in one place. Sim Nation, feed your dreams.
You know, I would feed my dreams, but when I close my eyes only for a moment and the moment it's gone, all my dreams pass before my eyes. A curiosity. Well, anyway, there we go. A little bit. Get one last Kansas. GSRC's not going to have us back. We're the original music that you've heard today on the broadcast is thanks to Eric Elcom and Casey Lalonde with lyrics provided by Kansas. See the screen for how to contact them, Sean.
And the Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 1 week from Atlanta Motor Speedway with the American Cancer Society Race for the Cure 200 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and GSRC will be there. We hope you will join us. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're on Twitter. Find us at GSR Channel. And on Facebook /Global Sim Racing Channel.
And finally, on behalf of my mic mate, Sean Ambrose, our director, Amjad Yaman, our camera artist, Dougie Beards, and the big wigs at GSRC that hopefully will let me finish out this season, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. And with that said, it's time for us to go have fun storming the castle. So until next time, if they let me back, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.